Watch me now. Watch me now.
Cool. All right. Welcome back to Big Business Energy. My guest today is a WBFF Pro, Lucas. Thank you so much for coming on.
It's all my pleasure, man. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. Now, before we get into this thing, I think it's going to be best if we crack these bad boys open.
It's time to crack it open, is it?
That's it. And cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it. Cheers to prep.
Day 3 of prep officially. We can still have the monsters. The monsters, they make the cards.
That's it.
Cheers to the first podcast.
Yeah, no, honestly, thank you for coming on. I think it's going to be really cool to give people a good insight into what actually goes on into a prep, behind the scenes, becoming a pro, and what it takes to become a pro as well. I think it's going to be really, really cool. So let's start it off. You're going out for a night on the town and you jump in an Uber and the Uber driver says, "Mate, what do you do with yourself?" What do you say?
It's quite the scenario.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Yeah, I've thought about this before.
Okay, well, I'm feeling quite chatty, so I wanted to get into detail with the Uber driver.
Okay.
So sometimes I keep to myself in the Uber. But
Is that chatty or litty?
Liddy usually turns into chatty. So this particular night, I'm feeling chatty with the Uber, so I feel like telling them a little bit about myself. So obviously, I'm Lucas. I'm WBFF Pro fitness model. I won my pro card last year in the April show. I'm also a personal trainer at World Gym Underwood, and pretty much I've been training for as long as I can remember. My life pretty much revolves around the gym, fitness, helping other people get fit, and competing myself and trying to be the best, I'd say, fitness model that I can be, and try to be competitive on stage, see how far I can push myself, because that's really where I see myself in the future, just trying to, I'd say, gain as much, I will say, trying to accomplish as much in the fitness space as possible.
Yeah, that's awesome though. And so you got to have big goals and big visions, right? And I think it's going to be really, really cool to see. Like you said, this prep is going to be one of the best that you've done yet. So it's going to be super exciting to see how that progression goes throughout. But what got you into fitness? Like, where did your sort of fitness journey start?
Well, how it all started, I was always playing sport when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So how it started, my dad, he was always into football when he was a kid. So he pushed me and my brother into football. He kind of just showed us it at a young age. So we were always kicking the ball as kids in the yard. Yeah. And so when I was a wee lad, got into football pretty early, playing club football, this is soccer, by the way. So got into club football, school football, played that for a good 11 years. And it got to a point where I'd feel like I had run the course, right? I had kind of exhausted everything that I wanted to do in football. Yep. So I ended up bringing it up with mum and dad, said, "Hey, I'm thinking of," here we go, thinking of stopping playing football. Right. And dad wasn't too happy. Right.
Yeah.
So
no,
he's like,
crazy.
That's my son. He's going to make it to the World Cup. Not exactly, but he wasn't too happy that, I wasn't playing the game that he loved so much.
So did you ever envision to become like a pro, or was that sort of never something you wanted?
In football?
Yeah.
Like as a kid that didn't really know too much about the world. Always like, I'm going to be a pro footballer, when you're in elementary school and they say, "Hey, what do you want to be when you're older?" Yeah. I want to play pro football. Yeah.
Okay, Jimmy.
Yeah, exactly. All right, big dreams. But along the course, I was like, I don't know, it's just fun. Like I didn't know if it was going to lead me anywhere. Yeah. I just knew that I was loving it, and all my friends were doing it. I was playing with my friends every weekend. Yeah. So it was just something cool I was doing. Didn't really have any big aspirations with it. I just knew I enjoyed it. I was quite good at it. But eventually, just decided to stop playing. Yeah. But I've always been quite active, so I always wanted to do something else after that. So how it happened in year 12, one of my mates had these free passes for one of the local gyms, a Fitness First.
Yeah, sick.
So he was like, "Hey, let's get into the gym. Let's check this out." And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" Ended up going there after school a couple times. And I mainly just wanted to keep fit. I actually had no interest in weights at all. Didn't know the first thing about weightlifting. Honestly, didn't care at all. Just didn't really know anything about it. So I mainly just went there to jump on the treadmill, just do a bit of ab work. In all honesty, I was, admittedly, a cardio bunny.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So I was more so just running around because that's what I was doing at football. So really, gym was just the supplement to what I had been doing.
Yeah, right. See, I didn't know that. I wouldn't have picked you for a cardio guy.
No, you wouldn't think so.
Yeah. So what's your thoughts on cardio now?
I mean, it's got a place, right?
Yeah.
Obviously it does now that I'm in prep, so you've got to hit a
100%.
certain amount of steps every day. I do enjoy it, to be honest. It's quite refreshing. Like just jumping on the treadmill or just going for a walk outside. It's kind of the only time that I sort of have a moment with myself.
Yeah.
You know, I just chuck the AirPods in, listen to a podcast, just kind of gather your thoughts. I quite like it, to be honest. You won't catch me running or like doing a marathon or anything like that. But
yeah, that's a little much. Fuck.
a little bit much.
I take my hat off to those people that do any of that sort of stuff. Hey, like it's just hectic. Like, fire up.
Because like that's not easy stuff. Like,
100%.
like you see weightlifting and like that's not easy, but it's not to say that big marathons and triathlons like that is hard stuff. Like cardiovascular fitness, if you're at that level, I mean that's impressive stuff.
I agree. And so, all right, so you started getting into the gym. It was mainly cardio. So then, what was sort of that transition for you where you're like, hang on, I think I want to really like start doing this as a career. Like I really enjoy this.
Well, it got to the point where we had been gone for like maybe a couple of weeks, just doing light treadmill work, and we were like, we should check out upstairs, like the actual gym. Because we hadn't even really kind of explored the whole gym.
Yeah.
Right? And we're like, this is a gym. We're not even looking at the weights.
Yeah.
I feel like we're exploring like 10% of this place.
Yeah, just keep looking out that window where the treadmill is.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. This is easy. I'm winning every time.
Yeah.
So we end up going upstairs, just kicking around, just trying to find certain machines that just do certain body parts, just figuring out the whole world, really. Had no idea about it, so we were kind of just winging it. We didn't really have one like alpha mate or something that had been going to the gym. Yeah. This was 4 rookies, just all going to the gym, not a clue what was going on.
Cool. All the gear and no ideas.
Pretty much, yeah. Honestly, man. Honestly. It would have been pretty embarrassing kind of watching us just moseying around the gym, just like using everything wrong. And
yeah. So if anyone's got that security footage from about 8 years ago.
I kind of want to look it up. Yeah, it'd be very embarrassing. Yeah, probably a big ego lifter back then, in all honesty. So just
we've all been through it.
Yeah, it's a phase you've almost got to go through. But honestly, it was pretty quick for me to start attaching myself to the gym. Yeah. Right. So this is the weights. So we started lifting weights pretty consistently after that. And then quickly I realized, oh, this is actually something I want to get better at. Yeah. Because you go a couple times and you start to see the weights increase. You start to feel good about yourself. You start to like really hit that muscle. You're like, oh, okay, all right, we got something. Yeah. So I think that progression aspect really interested me. Yeah. Just getting better and better each time. And
it helps with the ladies too. Like,
yeah, exactly. I think that was actually a big driving force back then, probably. I mean, that's probably half the reason we were
right. We all have.
Oh, yeah.
Just want to look good naked. Like,
But then you just go along for the ride for quite a while. And it was probably a number of years until I decided I actually want to compete. Like, would have been like 8 years later or something. Yeah, wow. So this is good 12 years ago that I just started the gym. Crazy. So I was just kind of doing my own thing for like probably, 7 years. Got a coach myself and then told him, hey man, I'm thinking of doing a bodybuilding show. Because probably 2 years prior to me actually competing for the first time, I did have the idea. Like, I do want to actually see how I stack up against all these other guys. Yeah. Like, I want to see where I stand in this ranking system. Yeah. So, sorry, so you competed before you became a PT? Yes. Yeah. Okay, yes. Awesome. Yes. Yeah, quite a number of years before, actually. Yeah. Cool. So, had the idea. Didn't shoot on the idea straight away. I always thought in my head, I'll be honest, I'm not good enough for stage, right? Like, I'm not ready to jump on stage. Whereas like, I had no idea about like who was on stage, what they look like, what the whole process was. Yeah. I just always thought, I need to be a little bit better before I jump onto stage. Yeah. But it got to a point I was like, well, if I want to get better, I'll get a PT, right? He'll be able to guide me. He'll be able to shoot me in the right direction, tell me if I'm ready for this, not ready for that, 100%. Or just get me ready so that I'm able to be competitive on stage. Yeah. So I ended up getting one, and then that later year did my first 2 competitions. Oh wow! And then after that, it was just I was hooked. Yeah. Yeah. So what federation was the first one you competed in? Well, actually, funny story. So we were always going to do the WBFF. Yeah. So in 2019, we were going to do the October show. So we were prepping for that the whole time, about 12 weeks, and we were probably maybe like 5 weeks out or something like that. My coach brought up this interesting idea. He was like, all right, we got this show coming up in a number of weeks. There is this other show, this IFBB show that's 2 weeks prior. Yeah. It could be a very good idea for us to do that show, get a bit of stage presence, kind of just get your feet on stage and kind of understand what's going on when you lead into your actual show.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Okay, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Like in
Fuck
my,
it, I'm here, right?
yeah,
Like,
exactly. I mean, because you're already kind of in condition, right? It's 2
Yeah.
weeks before your original show, so
Yeah.
it seemed like a good idea to me.
Yeah.
I was like, might as well like test out the waters a little bit.
Yeah.
So the first one was officially the IFBB show.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah,
And then WBFF after that.
yeah, just 2 weeks after that.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that was a big year. Didn't expect to be doing 2 competitions
Yeah,
that
yeah,
year
yeah.
and 2 federations that year.
And so that's what gave you the bug. And then from there, did you compete then every year after, or what was the?
Yeah, see, that was a mess after that. So did the first 2 shows.
Yeah.
Then what was the timeline? So the very next year, the very next year was COVID time. So
Oh,
I
right.
competed
Yeah,
in
yeah.
2019, 2020, we just got wrecked, right?
Yeah.
So that was COVID time. And then there was a bunch of missed shows here and there.
Yeah.
So like I'd prep for a show and then it would get cancelled. I'd prep for another one, get cancelled.
Yeah, pain in the ass.
Oh, it was horrid, bro. Because
Yeah.
after the first one, I was like, I need to win this show.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
immediately after getting off stage, I was like, ooh, this is something I want to win.
Yeah.
I want to get really, really good at this.
Yeah.
So I was itching to just do show after show after show until I won it.
Yeah.
So it was super frustrating, man.
Yeah.
So I was like, I just want to do this show. They keep canceling the show. And obviously no hate towards the organizer. It's just like
Yeah.
they were forced to
Yeah, of
shut
course,
it down.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what can you do about it?
Yeah.
But we did another show in, what was that, 2021?
Yeah.
Did better than I did the first.
Mhm.
And then I was pretty much doing, honestly, bro, I did every show that I could, every
Yeah.
available show moving forward.
Yeah. Awesome.
So I didn't
Yeah.
actually like miss a show. So
Yeah.
I was just like, every show, we need to win this.
Yeah. Wow.
And then the next one, the year after, so last year's April show.
Yeah.
So 4 in total now.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. And
Yeah.
so the show last April,
Yeah.
you got your pro card. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was the pro victory, that one.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so just tell us a little bit about the experience of like what it takes, because I think a lot of people don't even understand what it takes to step on stage, let alone like that extra level of like becoming a pro and standing out up on there. So just run us through a little bit about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So ever since I started competing with the WBFF, you would be backstage for the day and you'd be there with all the other competitors. You'd just be waiting to get up there, waiting to get tanned the whole day. And you'd always see these guys in the nice suits and they'd walk backstage and they'd give you the pep talk and they've got the big gold badge.
Yeah.
So for the WBFF, anyone that doesn't know, once you turn pro, they award you this gold badge, which shows that you are a pro.
Yeah.
And I was always seeing these guys come in and they're all super nice. They're all just geeing us up, trying to get us, as amped up for this show.
For sure.
And I was always looking at these guys like, oh, that's where I want to be.
Yeah.
That's the position I want to be. Just like, just that status of
Yes.
just kind of like being on top of the federation and just having that respect from all the other competitors.
100%.
Because that's what I was giving these guys. I was like, just kind of in awe of them because they were like this almighty pro almost
Yeah.
that was walking in.
Yeah.
So ever since I started competing, I just saw these pros and just realized like, oh, I'd love to be part of, kind of this tier of competitor.
Yeah.
So it was actually cool because it took a few tries of turning pro. So the IFBB show, I actually ended up winning that show. So
Yeah.
it was the first time as men's physique show.
Yeah.
So I did pretty well in that, and then came 5th in the WBFF show, came 3rd,
Yeah,
and
wow.
then finally came 1st. So it was a bit of a journey to get there,
Yeah.
which I think made it all so much sweeter when we
100%.
finally got it done.
You like fucking worked for it too.
Yeah,
hey?
100%,
Grinded, like,
100%. Because the very first show, I was kind of just experiencing the show, just testing it out. Like,
Yeah.
didn't expect to win or anything like that.
Yeah.
The second show, I was coming in there to win, but got pushed back, got 3rd place, which I was disappointed with, but in
Still
time,
good effort. Like.
Yeah, I was. That's the thing. Like when you don't get the place that you want.
Yeah.
And like even when it is a good place, like 3rd's not like terrible.
Yeah.
But people are like congratulating you. I remember I was just so like numb to all the congratulations
Yeah.
and all
You're like,
that.
it's not first.
I was like, yeah, I'm like, it's nothing worth congratulating.
Yeah.
So like, honestly, bro, I felt like a loser at that point.
I feel like that's your competitive spirit coming out.
Yeah,
right? You're
exactly.
Like, nah, like I want first. Like,
Exactly. Because the whole time I was like, I'm winning this show. That was like the mentality. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm winning this one.
I mean, it's good, right? right? You got to fucking back yourself. Like, you got to.
You have to, you have to. There's no one that wins these shows that doesn't say, I'm going to win this show. Right? There's people that say it and don't win it, but you need to be able to say it to be able to be victorious. Because that shows with your stage presence on stage.
Yeah.
So if you're not super confident enough to say, oh, I've got what it takes to win this, you're not going to show that you are actually someone that, you know, knows they can win this show. So on stage, confidence is a massive thing. And you can tell when that guy knows he should win this show.
Yeah. Or more importantly, at least, that they're confident enough that they've given everything they can possibly to that show or that to that physique, whatever they've done. They've done everything they can for that, right? And I think knowing that, then you go up on stage and then you're like, all right, I'm bringing what I've tried my absolute hardest. This is my physique. Let's see how we go, right?
100%. It comes down to just knowing that you've nailed your prep.
Yeah.
So my one where I came third, afterwards I realized I hadn't done everything that I could have done. There was just a few things that, like, man, I might not have hit my steps like 100% one day, or like I go over my calories just a little. I had an extra rice cake, for example, one day. These are things you look back on where you're like, oh, if I didn't do this one thing 8 weeks ago, then maybe I would have won.
It's funny how your mind works too, how you would just kick yourself about things like that. Hey, like
100%.
as little as like you said, a rice cake or 1,000 steps less than what you should have. Like, it's crazy looking back on it. But let's go back a bit on that, because can you just tell people a little bit of an insight onto things that people don't really expect and what you have to actually even like give up when doing a prep? Like you said, like, and we're talking about this, you know, you might have a partner and you might want to go out and everything like that. Little things that people aren't really aware of that you're like, oh shit, I never really, that's right. You would need to give that up to
Yeah, absolutely. Now, it's easy to get caught up in the glitz and the glam of the competitions. Like, you'll see the guys and the girls on stage looking amazing, looking crazy in their bikinis, but you don't realize what goes into making it to that stage. Yeah. So a prep will normally take between like 12 and 20 plus weeks, right? Some people have a longer prep, but even 12 weeks is a good 3 months of just rigorous discipline. So it's just a long period of time where you really have to be as strict as humanly possible. That's what I've realized over doing these past shows. Yeah. So what really it entails is just nailing your calories every single day, like without fail. Like, this is just a non-negotiable when you do competitions. Like, you cannot cheat on your diet ever. Yeah. Like, your coach might give you a high day, might give you a low day. So the calories might differ, but you need to nail them 100%. So that's what I noticed. So when I was a little bit more lax with just adherence, like, I was still hitting it quite well, but just being a little bit lax, that's when you really start to differentiate who's first, who's second, who's third. So there's a lot of things that you don't necessarily realize when entering a show. Like, as you said, when you do have a partner, it is very easy for them to just want to do normal human things. They want to go out to dinner. They want to go away for a weekend. You know, they want to just have fun with you just outside the house. And that usually involves food and, you know, maybe not moving the body too much, like getting the steps in. So these are things that you really have to factor in. Like, this is like a 3 to 5 month usual process of every day. You cannot stray away from that plan. Yeah. So these are things you just have to be prepared for. And you've also got to be prepared to say no to people. That's one thing that I realized. And it was a little bit hard at the start because, like, no one knows what the hell you're doing your first prep. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Like, when people ask you to come out for lunch or like come out for drinks, and if you say, no, I'm doing a bodybuilding show in 10 weeks. Yeah. Like, no one knows what the hell that means, right? Yeah. Oh, okay. Like, why can't you just come out? It's just one snack. It's just I can't. This is the common one. Oh, just have a vodka lime soda, instead of like a rum and coke or something. Just like a low calorie option. Yeah, yeah. It's like no, you have to be perfect. Yes. To be successful at this. Yeah. Also, like, maybe reconsider your friends, because like anyone who's like not supporting your journey and what you want to do, also questionable. But I think it comes from a place of not understanding, though. It is true. That is very true. Yeah. Because my friends have definitely come around. Like, at the start, they weren't like against it. Yeah. They just didn't really understand it. 100%. Right. So after a while, to be honest, they just stopped inviting me to stuff. Yeah, they're like, we know he's not going to come. Yeah, he's not going to come. Yeah. He hasn't come to the last 10 things. Why would he come to this? Yeah, he's got his chicken and rice. Whatever. I suppose I should clarify. When I say you've got to be perfect, I say your approach has to be perfect. I don't say you yourself have to be perfect, but just your approach and your adherence to everything has to be quite perfect. Yeah. And that really does come with just saying no to a lot of certain things. So it's hard when you have a partner that, for example, wouldn't go to the gym.
Yeah.
So if they don't really understand what you're up to, or, you know, like why you can't go away for the weekend, you know, it might cause a little bit of distress between you two.
Yeah.
But that's definitely something to anticipate, because it is a long period of time. Like, that is quite a lot of patience for other people to have bestowed on them.
So going through, I guess, a prep and getting into fitness, like, what would be some of the advice you would give to someone who's like thinking about competing or even looking to get their pro card? Like, what is sort of some tips you would give?
So if you wanted to compete, I suppose I wouldn't really push anyone away from competitions, to be honest. I think they're fantastic. I think they really empower you. They give you a lot of lifelong qualities as well, like patience, determination, just offset gratification. So
I love that, right? Like,
that's one of the big ones.
The delayed gratification.
Delayed gratification. There you go. That's one of the big ones. And that just comes with the short-term sacrifices, like not being able to go out for these meals and just having to sacrifice some social situations for that long-term goal, right? Yeah. Just sacrifice these small things. And then after all of this period, if you are victorious, if you win your pro card, I mean, I'm speaking from experience, that satisfaction far trumps any sort of satisfaction you get from these little wins that you would have, or little fun interactions.
Yeah.
So it's definitely worth sacrificing in the short term to get this big goal, because I'll tell you what, there has not been one moment more fulfilling or satisfying than that pro card win last year. That it still gives me chills just thinking about that.
More importantly, any of your show times, have you regretted ever getting up on stage?
No, definitely not.
Exactly.
Definitely not. It is just such an exhilarating experience, especially with the WBFF. It is just such a fun stage to be on.
Yeah.
Like, you just get up there and that's the moment you realize, oh, this is what I've been working for months. Oh, I'm here. Oh, I look sick.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm wearing this crazy bikini. Oh, there's so many people here that are going to see this.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very empowering feeling. So I recommend everyone that's interested in doing a bodybuilding show to go through it. But there are a couple of things to keep in mind, in my opinion. You do want to have, I would say, a good relationship with food. Yeah. I think if you don't have a good relationship with food coming into it, it can spell problems later down the track, especially when you start, because obviously you're going to be restricting your calories just routinely. So if you start removing food and hunger starts to come up, which it will, and you have to start restricting certain foods, you don't want to be in a position where, I don't know, you're a bit distressed from that whole situation. You want to be quite comfortable with your relationship with food. Yeah. And also I suppose, you got to be confident with your ability to stay on track. Like, if you know that you've got issues staying focused, staying on track to a plan for a long period of time, you might want to just continue going to the gym for a while, start just adhering to just like a basic gym plan. Yeah. And then maybe after that, possibly doing a bodybuilding show. Because the last thing I would want people to do is to see someone on stage looking fantastic. Maybe they've been training for 6 months themselves, and then saying, all right, I'm doing a bodybuilding show, when in reality, they're not exactly ready for that. And then they go through the process. Maybe they make it to stage. Worst case scenario, they don't make it to stage and they kind of just have, you know, a bad experience with the whole thing and then just forget about bodybuilding. Yep. Or maybe they do make it to stage and they're not the best version of themselves, or maybe they just realize, oh, I'm not ready for this. Yep. And then get a sour taste in their mouth about bodybuilding. So I would say probably just make sure that, also have a coach that reassures you that, okay, you are ready for this bodybuilding show. Because you do want to have a good first showing where you're quite happy with your presentation, because then that's going to lead to further shows. You're going to really enjoy your time on stage and during the prep, and then you're going to just want to do more and more.
100%. So it's all about also, I think, having a strong mindset as well. And I think...
Yeah, I'd agree for sure.
You are, and I'm not even exaggerating when I say this, you're probably one of the most positive people I know.
I appreciate that, Jaiden.
I'm sure multiple people have like said that to you. But honestly, do you have a bad day?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But my thing is, I don't like reflecting my bad days onto other people. Yep. Like, you know, if I came in here, if I've had a bad day, what have you done to me? Why would I show you that side? Yeah. Right. But I try to stay positive as much as I can.
So what is some of the key tips then to maintaining that positive mindset throughout, you know, your training, your prep, and just having like that, just a strong mindset in general when entering into those sort of, you know, I guess, times that are going to become, you know, a little bit challenging for you and that, and just
It's a great question. I'd say have a great support network around you. Like you are definitely going to be confiding in people when you do this bodybuilding prep. There's no one that really does a prep and just like, doesn't talk to anyone at all. Especially when you first go, like, because it does get a little bit emotional at times. Like you start doubting yourself, like you really start doubting yourself, no matter how good you look.
Yeah, of course.
So having a good support network where you can really confide in these people that will really screw your head back on and just keep you grounded. I think that's probably one of the most important parts. Realizing why you're doing it as well, like instead of just going through the motions and just hating it, don't think it's something that you have to do. Think it's something that you get to do.
Yes.
And then you'll take a lot more pleasure from the process.
Yeah.
But yeah, just having good people around you, that's really helped me in the past.
That's good. Yeah.
100%.
And so from that, you obviously turned pro last year, which, last year?
Last April,
which
that's
congratulations.
Right. Thank
That's
you, brother.
awesome.
Thank you.
And so what do you think is the deciding factor for people of like from being a pro and not being a pro? Like what's that little edge that you'd suggest people that you could help people who are watching this to be like, this is what you need to do if you want to become the 1%, the pro,
to turn an average competitor into a pro competitor?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. You've really got to get that mental toughness. And because that's where the discipline comes into to staying as adherent as possible.
Yeah.
Because that's what I noticed from, so just going back to that, when I came third in that prep, I had reflected on that prep and realized, everything wasn't how it should have been.
Yeah.
And then going into that prep that turned me pro, I realized everything has to be 100%.
Yeah.
Like I was going crazy with stuff. Like I was weighing absolutely everything. Like putting my bowl on the scale, weighing the sauce out to the gram.
Really?
Sometimes even just taking like a little lick off it with my finger just to make sure that 21 turns into a 20.
Yeah.
Just like crazy stuff, man. Like unreal stuff. But in my mind, this is the mentality I had.
Yeah.
If I don't do this, someone that does this will beat me.
Yeah.
And all of this is for nothing.
Yeah.
Like the amount of times I was at the gym and I just did not want to do this last like 2 minutes of stairs.
Yeah.
And like there's a couple guys that I had in my mind because like the class that I did, it was one of the most competitive ones we've had in a number of years.
Yeah.
And I was just like, if I don't do this last 2 minutes, one of these guys that do the last 2 minutes on these stairs is going to beat me. Is going to embarrass me on stage. This is going to be the worst time ever. I've wasted this whole prep. I've disappointed myself.
Yeah.
These are the thoughts that go through your mind,
crazy.
man. It's wild. But that's like actually the reality though.
Yeah.
Like if you do 98%, someone that does 100% will beat you.
Yeah. It's true though, like you said, yeah.
But yeah, I would say making sure that you're doing everything as 100% as possible. Because some people would kill somebody to turn pro. Like these people, us people, these people, talking like the aliens from space or something like that. No, when we do competitions, like when we're in prep, like life revolves around prep.
Yes.
Like you plan your life around prep. You get prep perfect and then you do your regular life as well.
100%.
But if you're not doing everything perfectly, someone that has their life revolving around this will end up victorious.
Yeah.
But this lineup was a hard one because I had a number of guys on my tail.
Yeah.
So I had it was myself, Syed, Chesbra, Sean and Dylan.
Yeah.
So it was this stack, get this. So a year after I won the pro card, all four of us are now pro athletes.
Yeah.
So that's how stacked it was.
Crazy.
So
Wow.
these killers were on my tail and I was like, I need to nail this, man. Like one slip up and one of these guys is taking it from me.
Yeah. And it worked. Like you said.
Well, that's the thing. And that's why I can be so confident in saying that. Like just give your 100% to your training, to your nutrition, be open with your coach, like have good dialogue and communication with the coach. And that's the thing, like that's also super important as well. Like you want to be just like tied to your coach. You want them to know everything about you, like know how your body works to a T, how your mind is working, because that is going to produce some good results if you're a well-oiled machine.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I think that's
100%.
some great advice that people will be able to take away. I guess from that, obviously you competed in that and then as well, you then became a PT.
Yeah, that's right. So actually the same year that I had turned pro, so last year, So a bit of a backstory. I was an electrician for 8 years. Enjoyed it, but couldn't see myself doing it for too much longer.
Yep.
And just the heat and the weather and the roof spaces and all that, not the nicest areas to be crawling around in. Yeah. So I decided I wanted to follow my passion. Fitness is everything to me. So I decided to become a personal trainer a number of months after winning the pro card.
Awesome.
I was able to become an accredited sports nutritionist pretty much as I was transitioning into the PT world. Yep. Just so I was set up in a good position to be able to train people and also give them meal plans and just help them just how I would want to be helped. So meals and training and just absolutely everything when it comes to training.
So just give us an overview of how that transition's been. So is it mainly online? I know there are crazy times. Half the time when I'm at the gym, I see you there and you've been there all morning. And I'm like, this guy, do you live here?
I pretty much do. I've always made a joke I should have a tent in the corner.
Yeah, literally.
Pretty much. It's just a waste of fuel going back and forth, back and forth. But yeah, the transition was quite smooth, actually. So I was always planning, this was always my plan. I was going to wean off the electrical job. So I was going to go from like 5 days to 4 days and then kind of like go down while the PT ramped up. But I was like, you know what? If you're going to be successful in anything, I feel like you just got to cut the ties. Yeah. Just cut that boat, have no exit from this new plan.
That's it, 110%.
100%, yeah. Even if you're in a bit of a precarious situation to start with, which like I was, because I'm brand new PT, zero clients.
Of course, yeah.
So it was a position where, it was sink or swim. Yeah. So that's the position I wanted to be in. Yeah. Because I didn't want to be like, oh, I've still got this job. I can kind of put time into this PT gig. Yeah. I was like, no, get rid of that idea. Let's just 100% send this PT idea. So we ended up just fully committing to it and then started building up and up and up.
Awesome.
But yeah, quite busy at the moment in the gym, as you always see me in there. Yeah. So in person and online, definitely trying to build the online side up. But I've got a great team of guys in the gym, so I'm in no rush to get out of the gym or anything like that.
That's awesome.
Keen to build that online side up and kind of have another feather in my cap there.
Yeah, amazing. And are you looking more for like the average Joe? Are you liking to maybe take people through comp prep? Like what's sort of the avenue?
I think eventually I would want to do comp preps.
Yep.
I'm in no rush to jump into that scene. I'm actually liking what I'm doing at the moment. Just like young guys that are getting into the gym that are really keen to build their physique or guys that have tried to lose that last little bit of fat. Yeah. Because that's really what I prioritize in is the shreds. So I really like the process of getting lean and just uncovering all that muscle that you've worked so hard for. Yeah. So guys that just want to level up their physique, I really enjoy those fellas in the gym. Yeah. But definitely have my eye on doing some comp prep in the future. That awesome. Seems super empowering. So I see my coach Rob, he is absolutely killing it. He turned me pro, and it just seems so exhilarating being able to, transition a guy from just average competitor to pro athlete. Like that just seems so satisfying. Literally. And I could even see how happy he was to get that done on the day.
100%, right? Like when you see someone, like you said, you've been working with for so long and seen all the hard work and results that you both are putting in.
Yeah, absolutely.
To finally get up there and be like, oh, damn.
Yeah, for sure.
I killed it. Like,
Absolutely. Because we have been together for like 2.5 years now.
That's crazy, hey?
Actually, almost 3 years. Yeah, Rob and I have been together for a long time. I think that's actually another piece of advice as well. Find a good coach and just stick to him. Like, you don't want to be jumping around coach to coach. Yeah. Because when that happens...
You don't want to be a coach slut, right?
No, exactly right. No, definitely not. Definitely not. You want to find one person that knows your body inside and out. Like, I swear Rob knows my body more than I know mine. Yeah. So you want to find someone that you can actually trust with knowing how your body reacts and what your body needs.
100%. So you mentioned it at the start of this as well, but you are obviously 3 days into prep. Yes. So tell us a little bit about the future of like what sort of, what do you have planned for the business? What do you have planned for preps, life?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, I got some big goals. So won the pro card last year, didn't do the pro show. I just needed to rest this thing up here. Yeah. Just been going pretty hard that past year for that prep. Yep. So I wanted to sit that one out. I also just wanted to sit back and see what they awarded for the pros. Because that was actually our first pro show that we had in like 3 or 4 years.
Oh, okay.
Or something. Because us amateurs, we had a couple shows early in the year, but the late shows always kept getting cancelled due to COVID. Yeah. So I was just really keen to see what the placings were, what they were looking for. Yeah. So I didn't want to just jump in there and then, I'm not what they're looking for. So sat back, had a watch of that, but now I decided this year I definitely want to make my pro debut. So I want to jump up November 4th, want to jump up on the pro fitness model stage. We're going for that Australian title.
Hey.
I'm feeling good about this one. We're doing a big 15-week prep this year, so a little bit longer than usual, usually between 12 and 14 weeks.
Awesome.
So giving a little bit of extra time. These guys are killers in the pro division.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, so that's the goal this year, competing-wise, become the Australian champion of Australia. Eventually maybe go to Worlds. I'm honestly tied to this Australia show. Like our Australia Pro show is full of killers, man.
Yeah.
Like we have
Where's Worlds? Where's that?
over in Las Vegas. That's in
awesome.
actually a number of weeks.
Oh,
yeah,
epic.
I've got a few. Yeah, I know a few people going over there, so it's going to be an interesting show.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but that seems to be getting quite big as well. So down the line, like it'd be cool, make a Las Vegas holiday with Sam and just do a show right at the start. It would be cool, but the Australian title, that's where my eyes are set at the moment.
That's amazing.
But business wise, because it hasn't even fully evolved yet, this business. So I'm definitely keen to push it. Definitely want to get the online side rolling. Yeah, I'm super comfortable at World Gym Underwood though. Like I'd love the team that I have there. It's a heap of fun. Yeah, just want to get that online side going and just keep it rolling because I'm loving what I'm doing at the moment, I'll be honest.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, you can see it too. And I feel like people can feel that as well. Like you said, like you can see that passion and how much you enjoy it. And like you said, even in the gym, you can see how much you enjoy like showing people like, oh man, today we're going to do a fucking lat pull down. And like, you just make it like these people that light out like, I've never enjoyed lat pull down that much. You know what I mean?
Well, it's so easy to go through the motions in the gym, right? Yeah. You're just so used to being stuck in your own ways. When someone comes around and shows you this cool little variation and that's the thing, there's so many little tiny things that affect so much of your physique. Yeah. Like just tucking your elbow slightly in or just retracting your shoulder just that little bit to turn that muscle on. Yeah. It's fascinating how much you can change someone's form that will really result in big gains for their physique. Yeah, so it's fun blowing people's minds, I'll be honest. Just showing them something that they didn't know. Yeah. I actually really like that position. Just being an educator. I actually like it because I'm passionate about this. As you can tell, I'm very passionate about fitness. So now my passion is just showing others what they can achieve. Yeah. All right. Because I'd kind of gone down that path. Just started off training by myself, seeing okay results, but then getting a personal trainer and then really elevating my physique and just how I viewed the gym and how I viewed my physique. So now I'm in that position. It's actually a kind of cool shift. Yep. I'm now in the educator position. Yeah. And it's really rewarding, man. It's actually really rewarding showing people.
You used to be like that, like, what was it, like 12 years ago or whatever?
Yeah, man, exactly.
Tables are turned.
Yeah, I was that young kid walking into the gym, no idea what was going on, kind of wasting time, not really achieving too much. Yeah. So back then, in all honesty, it would have been better for me to get a PT straight off the bat. Because then I would have just seen a whole lot more progress. But yeah, it's nice being able to help people that want to be helped.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
And so before we slowly start to close out this podcast, what do you like to do in your spare time? Like when you're not in the gym training someone or competing?
Oh, Sam and I actually got this new PS4 game. This is going to sound wacky, but I used to be into PS4. I hadn't touched it for a number. I dusted it off the other day. Yep. I was like, what'd be fun? We should get a co-op PS4 game. Yeah. So we got this one called It Takes Two, and it's this split screen game. I've never heard of it, but we started playing it, and it's so much fun, man. Yeah. So how that works is you've got two characters, her, me, and then you're going through this world. It's this big adventure game, and I've got to do a certain action that she's got to like interact with, or she's got to time it correctly. So you've got to work in unison to achieve all this stuff.
This feels like it would be like a battle and get competitive real quick.
Well, that's the thing. You're on the same team, though. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. So you got to use teamwork to get through this.
Cause a lot of fights, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I said jump now. You didn't jump now. What are you doing,
So flips table.
Yeah, exactly. It can go one or two ways, really. Yeah. But no, that's actually been a heap of fun.
That's good.
Well, we realized because we finished our Netflix show and we were just scrolling for like 20 minutes. Yeah. Like we're both so indecisive when it comes to that. Yeah. And we're like, well, we're kind of just watching stuff for the sake of watching stuff. Yeah. So this has actually been a heap of fun, just being able to play a PS4 game together. That's good. We've got our two doggies. We take them to the dog park, take them for walks, Ollie and Kai. Yeah. Because we moved in. I had Kai, my border collie. She had Ollie, my beagle. And they are just absolute best friends, bro.
That's awesome.
They are just wrestling all the time. Yeah, it's always a madhouse at home.
And so do you have any trips planned or anything? Or like what's the...
Yeah, absolutely, man. We're thinking of going to Japan at the end of the year.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah, it would be nice. We're thinking of going over for Christmas.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, we're thinking. Have you been to Japan?
No, it's definitely on the list. 100% want to go.
Yeah.
But Christmas would be cold too, right? It'd be...
I believe so, yeah. In Japan.
Is it snowing? So would you have a white Christmas? I don't know.
It's a very good question.
Yeah.
Probably should look this up. Yeah, probably. I don't want to say yes in case it's not. And then everyone in the comments is like, it's not wrong.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. Moving on.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't say that. No, that's always been top of my list, though. I've always wanted to go to Japan.
It's exciting. And I guess, is there anything else that you wanted to leave the viewers before we sort of sign off this podcast? Any other advice or anything?
Any other advice? Man, one of the big things I've always realized, and this comes with training clients in the gym, is there's a lot of people that doubt themselves when they don't need to doubt themselves. A lot of people will see like a bigger guy in the gym or someone that just looks a little bit more impressive. A lot of people will think, oh, I can't be like that. Or I can never lift that weight.
Yeah.
Right. Or like some people that do competitions, they'll see a guy that wins. They're like, oh, I'll never be that. Right. What I've noticed is that is always a load of nonsense. Like anyone can do anything the next guy can.
Yeah.
Right. So not even trying to be motivational here, but this is just something that I've realized because I used to be this guy that, you know, wasn't physically impressive. I was quite skinny when I was a kid. And I'd always see the big guys. And I remember going to my first WBFF show in the audience because my coach said, hey, we're thinking about doing the show, go watch it.
Yeah.
I watched and I saw the fitness models, which we're not the biggest guys on stage. Yeah. And I was watching them. I was like, oh, they're way too big. I can't do that competition. I remember thinking that. And it's kind of crazy thinking of that because then fast forward, I'm on stage doing fitness models competitions and now I'm doing a pro fitness model competition. Yeah. And like literally anyone can do anything the next guy can.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, the proof that that guy's already done something is just proof in the pudding of that it can be done.
For sure. Yeah.
So it should show you.
Yeah. It's almost like imagine that guy and just see what he looked like 10 years ago. Like I doubt he looked like that. Like I bet he was a regular guy like you.
Very true. Like
anyone that is of an impressive stature, he probably was similar to you one time. He just worked really, really hard to get there. And so can anyone. That's what I've realized because I've had a lot of people in the gym, my clients, just say, oh, I can't lift that weight. A number of weeks later, we're lifting that weight.
Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
It's really cool to see their mentality of that really get trumped.
Yeah. Oh, I love that, man. That's awesome.
But yeah, really just grind for what you really want. Like it's a matter of time till you're going to get there.
Yeah, that's it. But anyway, I think that's a great place to sort of leave it on that high note.
Absolutely.
For people looking to find you or want to inquire about any like PT service or anything, where can they find you on like socials and things like that?
So on Instagram, it's Lucas_WBFF Pro. That's mainly where I am. I do have a TikTok of the same handle, trying to get that rolling a little bit too.
Okay, I see you.
I see what you're doing.
It's socials, man. It's where the game is at the moment.
100%. Hey, I got to get on that Threads. You rolling on the Threads?
Yeah. It's like Twitter. Let's be real.
Pretty much, yeah. Oh, you hear they turned to X?
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
I did hear that. To X. Crazy.
Yeah. Elon Musk, eh?
Yeah, right. Jesus
Christ.
Anyway.
Thank you so much for coming on this podcast. I really appreciate it. Hopefully, I'm sure people are going to get some really good golden nuggets out of this, of some advice and that. And thank you so much for coming on, man.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, Jaiden. It's a pleasure to have the platform to talk to the people.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Boom.
Done, sir.
Awesome.
Watch me now. Watch me now.